Donald Trump's big expansion plans. Trump posts map showing Canada as part of the United States. Trump bats for Gulf of America instead of Gulf of Mexico.
We do most of the work there, and it's ours. We're going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
Donald Trump pushes for control of Greenland and the Panama Canal.
And we gave the Panama Canal to Panama. We didn't give it to China. And they've abused it. They've abused that gift. It should have never been made, by the way. Giving the Panama Canal is why Jimmy Carter lost the election, in my opinion.
Trump Jr. visits Greenland.
We're just here as tourists, looking at it.
Well, could you tell a little about the American interest in Greenland? There's been so
that's not for me to talk about.
Denmark says Greenland not for sale. Donald Trump's bold merger call is our top focus on India First. The US President-elect Donald Trump is promising a golden age for the United States of America. So just about 12 days before he's sworn in as the 47th President of the United States of America, Donald Trump has not ruled out use of military force to seize control, not just of Greenland, but also of the Panama Canal. So this is a big statement that he's made. He's not ruling out use of military force. He's talking about renaming the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America. He's reiterated his call to make Canada the 51st state of the United States of America. So this clearly goes way beyond, far beyond a jibe at Justin Trudeau when Justin Trudeau had rushed to Florida, to Mar-a-Lago after President Trump won the elections. What's the wider game plan? What's the wider strategic game plan of Donald Trump? We talk about it in greater detail because every word is carefully chosen. And are there already plans afoot? We'll tell you about that. I'm Gaurav Sawant as always. Let's get started with the headlines on India First. The opposition India alliance split wide open in the national capital. Arvind Kejriwal claims BJP Congress tango in Delhi. Trinamool Congress, Samajwadi Party and Shiv Sena's Uddhav Thackeray faction back the Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi. The Chief Minister's residence dangal gets fiercer. Aam Aadmi Party Delhi police standoff after being denied entry to the Chief Minister's residence. BJP hurls hypocrite jibe at Arvind Kejriwal. AIMIM fields another Delhi right accused for Delhi Assembly elections. Asaduddin Owaisi's party gives a ticket to Shifaur Rahman from Okhla. This after another right accused, Tahir Hussain, was fielded from Mustafabad. Mega NDA show of strength in Andhra Pradesh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi holds a grand roadshow with Chandrababu Naidu and Pawan Kalyan in Visakhapatnam, the first in the state after NDA's victory. California wildfires rage across Los Angeles County, forcing thousands to flee. Several Hollywood celebrities impacted. More than 30,000 people have now been officially ordered to evacuate. On the 20th of January, Donald Trump will be sworn in as the 47th President of the United States of America. But even before that swearing-in takes place, Donald Trump has taken the world by storm, announcing his plans to take control of Greenland and the Panama Canal, calling them both vital for US national security interests. He also reiterated his call for a merger of Canada with the United States, calling the border between Canada and the US an artificial line. And as promised, he actually promises to usher in a golden age of the United States of America. He says the Gulf of Mexico will be renamed Gulf of America. The Prime Minister of Denmark, incidentally, she's responded on the issue of Greenland, saying Donald Trump will have to be respectful of the wishes of the people of Greenland. We get you more in our top story.
Ahead of his second term, US President-elect Donald Trump is sparking fresh global controversy with his bold territorial ambitions. From Canada to Greenland, to Panama Canal, to the Gulf of Mexico, Trump seems determined to reshape the Western Hemisphere map. The latest uproar began when on Tuesday, Trump shared a map depicting Canada as part of the United States, reigniting his call for a US-Canada merger. Trump even vowed to use economic force like massive tariff to integrate Canada into American territory, claiming it is in the best interest of global security.
Economic force, because Canada and the United States, that would really be something. You get rid of that artificially drawn line, and you take a look at what that looks like, and it would also be much better for national security. Don't forget, we basically protect Canada. So, if I get it
This
right.
isn't Trump's first attempt at provoking a merger discussion with Canada. In recent weeks, he shared an AI-generated image of himself with a Canadian flag. He also referred to outgoing Canadian Prime Minister Trudeau as the Governor of Canada in a Christmas post, further sending tremors. Trump went as far as claiming that Canadians would embrace becoming the 51st state of the United States. Trump's territorial ambitions extend beyond Canada. On Tuesday, Donald Trump Jr. made a private visit to Greenland, a Danish autonomous territory. The visit followed his father's renewed interest in the resource-rich Arctic region known for its minerals and oil reserves. While engaging with the local community in Nuuk, Trump Jr. delivered a message from his father, emphasizing Greenland's strategic importance for both regional and global security.
I just want to say that it's a very special place. It needs security for itself, but it also needs security very much for the world. The location really, you see the people and the ships sailing around, and they're not the right ships, and they're not the ships you want to know about.
We're not meeting any politicians here, so that's not on the schedule. We're just here as tourists, looking at it,
But could you tell
seeing everything.
a little about the American interest in Greenland? There's been
Oh, no, yeah, that's not for me to talk about. That's for others to talk about. But
Thank you, guys.
We're just excited to be here. Thank you, guys.
The visit drew international attention, with Elon Musk publicly supporting Trump's Greenland ambitions. However, the Danish government firmly rejected any possibility of Greenland being for sale.
Jeg vil selvfølgelig gerne knytte nogle ord til den diskussion, der pågår lige.
I want to make it very clear that as seen with the eyes of Danish government, Greenland belongs to the people of Greenland, and they're all very proud of the language and culture they follow. And as the chairman of the government of Greenland, Mute Eged, has stated before, Greenland is not for sale.
Trump's expansionist plans don't stop there. He has also proposed renaming the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America.
So we're going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, which has a beautiful ring that covers a lot of territory. The Gulf of America, what a beautiful name.
Trump even stressed upon the need for U.S. control over the Panama Canal, citing economic security concerns.
The Panama Canal is vital to our country. It's being operated by China. China. And we gave the Panama Canal to Panama. We didn't give it to China. And they've abused it. They've abused that gift. It should have never been made, by the way. Giving the Panama Canal is why Jimmy Carter lost the election, in my opinion.
Panama's foreign minister responded firmly, reaffirming the country's control over the canal despite Trump's threats of potential military or economic intervention.
La soberanía de nuestro canal.
Our canal's sovereignty is not negotiable and is part of our history of struggle and an irreversible conquest. The only hands that control the canal are Panamanian, and it will continue to be so. We are a country open to dialogue today and always, to investments and good relations, but with the clear slogan that the homeland is first.
With bold rhetoric and controversial proposals, Trump's second term is shaping up to be a battleground for territorial ambitions. Bureau Report, India Today.
allow mics.
So let's decode Donald Trump's strategy in Canada, in Greenland, and the Panama Canal. Will it actually usher in a golden age for the United States as he claims, or are his statements mere rhetoric? Is he sending a message when his son says he's there, Donald Trump Jr. is in Greenland as a private citizen, or is some movement already happening? Joining me on India First is Ambassador Kanwal Sibal, former Foreign Secretary of India, former Indian Ambassador to France, to Russia, to Egypt, and Chancellor of the Jawaharlal Nehru University. Also with me on this broadcast is Raymond E. Vickery Jr., former U.S. Assistant Secretary of Commerce, Trade and Development, of course, a key advisor on U.S.-India relations. And Raymond Vickery Jr., may I come to you first, sir? There seems to be a very angry response from Canada, whether it's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau or the Conservative leader of opposition, Pierre Poilievre. Now, Justin Trudeau says there isn't a snowball's chance in hell that Canada will become a part of the US. So is Donald Trump seeking some concessions when he makes a statement on Canada beyond stronger borders and addressing trade imbalance?
Well, thanks for having me. I think that the remarks that have been made by the president-elect are very unfortunate. What it does is revert to an earlier time when personal and national greatness was measured by control over territory. After the disaster of World War II, the world, including India, got away from that concept. Unfortunately, there are some people like Putin and Xi, and apparently now President-elect Trump, who have reverted to the old-time view of what greatness is, and that you can control additional territory necessarily makes you great. That's not the modern age. The rule of law is supposed to be paramount in terms of how nations treat each other. There are those who say that Trump's remarks in regard to Canada are simply to pressure Canada for other reasons in terms of concessions on immigration, on tariffs, and so forth. I don't believe that's true. If you couple the remarks that were made about Canada with those made about Greenland, with those made about the Panama Canal, it clearly shows that Trump takes the view of the 19th century. So let's take this
one by one. Let's for a moment stay on Canada. I'll come to Greenland and the Panama Canal in just a moment. But are you suggesting that Donald Trump's statements are perhaps in response to what China's Xi Jinping and Russia's President Putin are doing? So let's talk about Canada for a moment. On Canada, is it rhetoric, or will he actually impose an additional 25% tariff? And is that threat intended just to ensure that Canada invests more in border security, checks, drug trafficking, human trafficking into the United States of America?
Well, I think it's clear that Trump has tried to link his remarks on Canada to national security. That's the same thing that Putin does in regard to Ukraine. It's the same thing that China does in regard to Himalaya Pradesh and Taiwan, that somehow you're safer if you can control more and more territory. Of course, that's a completely false argument and leads to conflict. We've seen that many, many times in the history of the world, and particularly in World War II. So I think that, yes, it's all linked together, that he wants to be as great as Peter the Great or Alexander the Great. And the way to do that is to control territory. And I think that that's his mindset. Let me bring in Ambassador
Kanwal Sibal into this conversation. Ambassador Sibal, is that also your appreciation? Like Peter the Great and Alexander the Great, Donald Trump wants to be Trump the Great. When we are to talk about Canada first, I'll come to Greenland and Panama Canal in just a moment. But on Canada, US and Canada are close allies, whether it's the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, Five Eyes intelligence sharing, NORAD, the North American Aerospace Defense Command. What does Trump hope to achieve, Ambassador Sibal, by wanting to make Canada the 51st state? Is he not belittling Canada?
Well, he is. he is humiliating Canada. He has humiliated Justin Trudeau personally. He's called him the governor of Canada and has told him that if he can't handle his economic issues, then he might as well become the 51st state of the United States. He's talked about how Canada is a burden on the United States to the amount of US $200 billion, and that the United States provides full security to Canada, that there's nothing that Canada produces which the United States wants, that the United States can do altogether without any imports from Canada. It doesn't need Canadian cars. I mean, he has elaborated his position on Canada and on Trudeau, and Elon Musk has joined in a very humiliating way.
For Justin Trudeau personally, it must be hugely humiliating, the way Elon Musk has also humiliated him. But, there's been a strong response from Justin Trudeau, from Pierre Poilievre. Ambassador Sibal, is Donald Trump starting on the wrong foot, or does Canada need to be administered this strong pill, the threat of drugs, human trafficking, or is the bigger issue China and Russia lurking in those waters?
Look, for us, for the rest of the world, this is a very disquieting development. As it is, people have been very worried about Trump's presidency, his unpredictable nature, his impulsiveness, and his penchant of making statements of the kind that he has made, which create a great deal of uncertainty in the rest of the world. Now, if the most powerful country in the world, which must act responsibility, violates all established norms, even when it comes to relationship with allies, by seeking to expand territorially, by demanding that they give up their sovereignty and join with the United States under threat of sanctions. There are others who can emulate this in other geographies, because you are actually violating, as I said, established norms, and this can have a ripple effect globally.
Especially when he says he's not ruling out the use of military force. I want to continue this conversation further, but there's breaking news, and very disturbing breaking news that's coming in from the Tirupati Tirumala Devasthanam. We're told, unfortunately, 3 pilgrims have just lost their lives in a stampede. These are images that we are getting to you, very, very disturbing images. We urge viewer discretion. Images that are coming in from the Tirupati temple, where thousands of devotees were queuing up for tickets, for tokens, for Tirupati Darshan. They were queuing up since very early this morning at the Vaikunt Dwar to get their darshan tokens or darshan tickets. And just a short while back, we are told that devotees were permitted to queue up also at the Bairagi Patida Park. And this is where, watch these images, this is where the security, the administration and the police were found to be woefully inadequate. And unfortunately, look at these pictures. Look at these pictures. There are little children that parents have had to take them on their shoulders as they negotiate this massive, massive crowd that came to the temple. And unfortunately, we are told at least 3 people have lost their lives. The unfortunate aspect is that the toll could go higher. There were close to 4,000 people in this restricted area. We are told 1 woman died at the stampede that took place at the Srinivasam. We are told that 3 people have been declared dead. and this is because they rushed for the token collection, and as this information filters in, one more death has sadly been confirmed. 4 people have lost their lives. I want to cut across to India Today's Apurva, who joins us for more on this. Apurva, very, very heartbreaking, very disturbing. What more do we know?
Well, Gaurav, in fact, it is unfortunate that this incident had taken place there at Tirumala. In fact, the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Nara Chandrababu Naidu, had just had a word with TTD officials as well. And what we are knowing is that at this point, 4 people have lost their lives in this stampede. Remember, tomorrow, starting from tomorrow, there is special darshans that have been given. Granted that this is the Vaikuntha Dwara darshan, that is a special darshan there for the public, and it's open for all the common public, specifically for the next 5 to 6 days, and for which several devotees had thronged there at Tirumala, waiting to go and get the token for the darshan there, which is where this accident had taken place. In fact, we're also getting to learn that several other people have also been grievously injured in this stampede situation that had taken place. Remember, this special darshan that will be going on for the next 4 to 5 days sees several common public there who are waiting to go and catch a darshan of Lord Venkateshwara, and that's what we are seeing, which erupted in a stampede kind of a situation as well. 4 people so far have been declared dead in this unfortunate incident, apart from several others who we are told are grievously injured. Rescue is also had taken place there. Remember, thousands and thousands of people gathered at Tirumala every day for darshan, and especially with this special darshan that Tirumala had announced just a short while back, tokens were available for all those
But
devotees.
Apurva, explain this to our viewers if you've been able to get more information from the administration. Usually it happens that there are queues, but there is also only a set number of people who are permitted to come. The district administration is supposed to ensure, the police are supposed to ensure, and the Tirupati Tirumala Devasthanam is supposed to ensure that it's an orderly crowd. What went wrong here? Was the administration lax?
Well, what we do know is that there are several, token counters that are being kept here, and this specific one, Bairagi Patira Park, this specific one had, in fact, seen several people who had gathered there. These tokens, yes, on a regular basis, they are issued, in a timely manner to a specific number of people, be it VIP darshan, be it special darshan, rupees 300 darshan, or the free entry darshan. Several darshans that are there, and each of them have a time and space constraint for how many the devotees are allowed at a particular timing. But what happens in these next couple of days is that there is a lot of people who simultaneously can be allowed in these darshan that will go on for the next 4 to 5 days. And not only that, in these next 4 to 5 days, all the special darshans there, be it the VIP darshan, all of them are also cancelled to ensure that all of these publics will go ahead as a common public as well. And that's what were the recent rules that had been issued in the Tirumala, the recent notice that had come out. And in this announcement that had been made, several people had thronged to Tirumala, where they were trying to get their hands on the tickets there that were being issued, the tokens rather that were being issued. And in this particular segment that we see, that is where this kind of a stampede like situation happened, because these people, these devotees, were made to stand in long queues for quite a large amount of time, which led to,
and we notice, Apurva, absolutely, Apurva, when we look at these images, the crowd that's there, it's in very large numbers. The police are woefully inadequate. We can see some police officers, some police personnel, but clearly not enough to control the crowds. And we are now being told Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has also expressed shock over the deaths of 4 devotees at the Tirupati Tirumala Devasthanam. In fact, the Chief Minister said he's very disturbed by the incident. The Chief Minister has spoken to officials about the treatment for the injured. Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has expressed deep shock over the deaths of 4 devotees in the stampede that took place near the Vishnu Nivasam in Tirupati. And this was a crowd that had assembled for darshan tokens at the Tirumala Shivari Vaikunta Dwar. We're also being told that the Chief Minister has held a meeting with the Tirupati Tirumala Devasthanam Chief to get an assessment of relief measures that are being undertaken. Apurva, we are told that the apprehension is, unfortunately, the toll could go higher because several people were in the stampede and rushed to hospital, and some are critical.
Well, that's right. What we are learning is the death toll unfortunately has risen now to more people. So 6 people who have been confirmed dead in this stampede situation. Unfortunately, several others have also been grievously injured in this incident. Remember, this took place just a short while back, roughly around 10 p.m. late this night. This stampede took place, and in the rush there, you can also see how many devotees had to go and try and get their hands on these tokens there so that they can go ahead and get a darshan there between these auspicious days. The next couple of days are quite auspicious there in Tirumala, which is why the Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam had made provisions to ensure that public can get access to these tokens. There were tokens available online apart from the tokens that are available that people can go and get at the counters, and which is where in one such counter that you see right here today, this incident had taken place. Unfortunately, we do know as of now that 6 people have been declared dead and several others who have been shifted to nearby hospitals for treatment. Gaurav.
6 people have sadly lost their lives. Several people are injured. They've been rushed to hospital. These are pictures that we are getting to you from the Tirupati temple, where a large number of people, and some of the initial figures seem to indicate that there were more than 4,000 devotees who had assembled wanting tokens for darshan early tomorrow morning from the Vaikunt Dwar, and these darshans were this darshan was for the common devotees, no VIP darshans, but there were multiple counters, and yet at one counter we are told that there was a stampede. Where did the administration of the Tirupati Tirumala Devasthanam go wrong in crowd control, given the number of devotees who come here every day and through the year, Apurva? It is very clear that administration should know better. The Devasthanam administration and the government in temples, and especially on big religious occasions, whether it's the superintendent of police, the district magistrate, they're all tasked to ensure that there is effective crowd control and crowd management, including ensuring that there are adequate numbers. Apurva, I want to understand from you, on major days, there is a standard operating procedure that's supposed to kick in, and this is across the country. If crowds are to be increased, the district magistrate, the superintendent of police, senior officers, they're supposed to be there and ensure there's effective crowd management. Do we know, were they taken aback? Were they not aware that 4,000 plus devotees could be there, or were they lax since their focus was elsewhere?
Well, we're still waiting to see, we're still waiting to know what had gone wrong. In fact, remember these tokens that were given, there was a guideline that had been set up to ensure that this kind of an incident does not take place. And unfortunately, we see that there had... were there any kind of lapses? If so, what were the lapses that had occurred? Why weren't there adequate police personnel that had been deployed? That is also to be seen. We do know that especially during this ticket counter areas, there are several Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam staff that have been deployed there to ensure that there is people are allowed to move in a very orderly manner. There are staff there of the Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam who are ensuring
clearly they were found wanting, and at least 6 people have lost their lives. Keep tracking that story. I will come back to you for more. We'll get you more updates on India Today on this very disturbing story. A quick break. News and updates continue on India Today. Stay with us.
Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
I don't read the news. I read between the lines to tell you the true version of events. The true story of our times.
To document grief, the toughest assignment for any journalist to be.
From those who matter.
Women politicians going to stick up for each other.
Of those who should matter. I document the truth. I don't distort the truth. I don't glamorize the truth. I don't gloss over the truth.
The ghosts of India's contentious medieval history have come knocking again.
I hustle for the truth. On the ground, in the newsroom, in the studio. I don't try to grab eyeballs.
I inform you to make you see the point.
To the Point with Preeti Chaudhary. At these times, only on India Today.
Ho ja rangila re, with Motorola's incredible range of smartphones.
Hello, Moto.
The poll bugle has sounded. Small state, big heart, and bigger political dividends. This is no ordinary election. Delhi doesn't just vote, it challenges. It questions.
Delhi living in a literal virtual gas chamber.
It decides the narrative for the nation.
We are the only revenue surplus government in the country.
As the battle unfolds on the 5th and the verdict echoes on the 8th, we're here to bring it all to you. This is State of War Delhi.
Political battle over Delhi CM's lavish official residence heats up. Aam Aadmi Party and BJP engaged in a massive political spat, and high drama was witnessed on the streets of Delhi. Aam Aadmi Party leaders first marched towards CM House seeking to see the swimming pool and mini bar as alleged by BJP, but were blocked by cops. Aam Aadmi Party later marched towards Prime Minister's official residence, alleging splurge and misuse of taxpayers' money, but were stopped by cops from entering the high security zone. BJP escalated its attack on Kejriwal, accusing him of building a lavish sheesh mahal during COVID time. BJP Delhi chief reached CM Atishi's residence, accusing her of seeking multiple bungalows. Earlier, Atishi claimed that BJP is denying her an official bungalow. BJP also released multiple posters slamming Kejriwal and claiming that he took away toilets from CM residence. Delhi CM's official residence is now the biggest flashpoint between BJP and Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi Dangal. Bureau Report, India Today.